Well, welcome to the Disc Jockey News Virtual Expo, and with me today I have the man, Bill Hermann, and Mitch Taylor.
And who are you?
Yeah, and I'm Jeremy Brech. Yeah, sorry.
Once again, who are you?
Yourself first.
I'm just so excited to see you guys here.
That's okay, but who are you?
I have no idea. Well, we're going to kick things off with this. Can you guys? Are you ready?
That's what
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever, go ahead.
We are going to be talking about my wife.
Yes.
And
everybody likes to talk about his wife.
But the important.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah. So the reason we're going to be talking about my wife is because, you know, some of us who are in relationships or we're married, you know, we are married.
If you like it, then you should
have put something you don't know about.
Well, there are some who were married and aren't married, and maybe, you know, we need that perspective as well.
Yeah.
But that's actually why we're having this conversation, because in our business, it's really trying for our significant others, and even for us, and especially for our kids as well. It's hard for them to understand what it is we do in our business and why we have to put so much time in it, and not just during the weekends, but everything that goes on during the week as well. And I brought two gentlemen who I highly respect, and they're here. They're actually over there somewhere, but we're going to talk with Bill and Mitch instead.
Oh, nice setup.
But we're actually going to discuss, you know, that balance between work and family. And I know it's something that I really try hard at, and it's so hard to find that balance. And I know a lot of people have asked me about this, so I figured this was a great conversation that we need to share with the DJ network.
We're hoping it's going to be a great conversation.
Yes. In the
next 10 minutes, you'll decide whether or not it's a good conversation or not.
Can they thumb down on Periscope? I'm just curious.
Thumbs up on Periscope. Give it a like. Thanks.
The Disc Jockey News Virtual Expo is sponsored by DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool. For more information, stop by djeventplanner.com. Top Hits USA, hit music service for radio and professional DJs. For more information, stop by tophitsusa.com. Epsilon Professional Lighting and Sound, an experienced and innovative manufacturer of lighting and sound equipment. For more information, stop by epsilon-pro.com. Promo Only, the industry's #1 source for music and music videos. For more information, stop by promoonly.com. By Omez Professional Lighting, new color, new vision, new Omez. For more information, stop by omezlighting.com. By Prime Cuts, the #1 service for music for mobile DJs. For more information, stop by Prime Cuts Music. Sponsored by Chauvet DJ. Value, innovation, performance. For more information, stop by chauvetlighting.com. Sponsored by Projectogram. High-quality designs for monograms, logos, and other image projections. For more information, stop by projectogram.com. ADJ, Pure Lighting Excitement. For more information, stop by adj.com.
But if you think this is a good topic, and you know, hopefully we do have some good input and we can help out and answer some questions. But if you think this is a good topic, give us a thumbs up on Periscope or on the YouTube's channel.
YouTuber thinger.
Yeah, and just let us know if this is something you want to hear more about. You know, start that conversation, because again, I mean, you see a lot of people in our profession who have gone through relationships, and it's hard for them to stick.
There's a ton
with us because of our time schedules. So
well, there's a lot of things that make it difficult for people in what we do, or any kind of performer, to have work with personal relationships with wives or girlfriends or things like that, because this is not a regular life in any way, shape, or form. Right down to our schedule. Right down to here's a great example. We were talking about this the other day, my wife and I, because I've seen this happen a million times with disc jockey friends of mine, where they have a girlfriend, and all the girlfriend does is spend a lot of time worrying that the DJ's out doing nasty things and the girls are all over them, and like first of all, like, we have no control, and we don't. Okay, we're guys, but the thing, I don't know where I was going with this.
So we're going to talk about a different topic then, because this is getting nowhere.
No, I will take care of it.
Really?
I think that it's extremely important for your spouse to understand truly what it is that you do. I was blessed with my wife who understands
Well, you
what I
met
do.
her while you were doing what you do.
Yes.
Which is the reason, the biggest worry that girls have is that you're gonna meet somebody while you're working because oh, well, he's out there being this, and you think he's so hot and everything like that.
Well, I am hot.
You did exactly what you weren't supposed to do.
I
At
did.
The job you were in.
I did.
And then
I broke the law.
You did actually, and then
did.
you ended up.
We did.
Hold
on now, hold on.
So of course
I
she
did.
knows.
I think the reason Mitch brings this up is because your wife has an understanding
Yes.
at what your schedule is
Yes.
going to.
She met me when I was working full time as a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I find a lot of spouses, doesn't matter the sex, if it's a female DJ and a male spouse at home, it doesn't matter. But I find a lot of the spouses feel like, oh, well, I can change them, or that's something he'll grow out of or she'll grow out of. and it's not the case. If you're a true performer at heart, if you're a true artist at heart and want to create, you're always going to have that side of you that needs that creative outlet to do something expressive with your talents.
Right.
And
Mitch, how long have you been married?
I've been married for, let me see now, gosh, 17 years.
To the
17
same woman?
It's screaming.
You're welcome, honey.
thing. I don't know. It's been a while. It's
I didn't say that. How long are you married, Bill?
21 years.
Oh, wow. See,
21
you
years.
had to think about that for a second.
No, I didn't have to
You
at
were
all.
thinking while I was thinking. That was a problem.
Okay, well, I've been married for 10 years now, and my wife, I still have these conversations with her. You know, it's, well, I didn't realize you were going to be this busy, or you're going to be at this successful, that type of thing, which is great.
That is honestly, that is a big deal.
I thought you would
oh, you're
suck.
a DJ. I didn't think you're going to grow out of the DJ thing. I mean, come on, you're going to get a regular job, right?
But I think a lot of people go into it where, oh, this is a hobby.
Yeah,
you know,
this is
this is
something
going to get me through
yeah.
college, and that's what it did for me. I started at the age of 15, and it was one of those.
17 now?
You're 25 now?
Yeah, I got married when I was when I was 15. But the reason I bring that up is because, again, I mean, we all kind of start this out as a hobby, but then we realize, wow, I can really be successful
Yes.
at this. And then, you know, our wives who have that same perspective that, oh, this is just a hobby, he's going to be working a regular job, which, I mean, as you two know, I was working a full-time on top of my full-time DJ
Yes.
company, and it's a lot of work. And I had to make that decision because, again, the purpose of this conversation, I wanted to make sure that I had more time with my kids. I wanted to make sure I had
Yes.
more time with my wife. And I had to let that other job go so I could focus on this, my passion, and still have time for my family.
But then you're also dealing with the schedule idea. It's like the idea that yes, you have more time with your family, but once again, we're not in a world where you're working 9 to 5. So your time with your family is different than the rest of the world. So, I mean, my Saturday is usually Sunday with my family, or Monday. Sunday and Monday, my wife and I decided that Sunday and Monday we both don't work. She doesn't work on Monday. Why? Because we don't have a Friday, Saturday usually.
Yeah.
And now that it's been 21 years of us doing all of our Friday, Saturday things that most people do on a Monday and a Sunday, it's weird. If we go out on Saturday, it's like, where'd all these people come from?
Right.
So, but it isn't. That's just schedule. Much less the other thing around people being worried about what you're doing around with other people. That becomes a conversation that only started recently with my wife and I. Is that what we do as performers? We stand in front of an audience of people. Our job is to be attractive
Yes.
to the entire room.
Likability.
And not necessarily, yeah, likability, well, attractive. I mean, and not necessarily just the way you look, but the way you are. You're confident, you're attracting people to you. One of the reasons that our wives were attracted to us is because we're good at that, okay? So now we're getting paid to be in front of a whole group of people to attract people towards us. And those people could be good looking as well, who want to also attract us to them. So that becomes part of our job, is understanding that we're playing this role, and we're drawing these people in, which is almost kind of deceiving in a way. But that there's this line, there's this wall that accountants don't have to worry about. Okay, managers don't have to worry about. It's something we do now naturally, and then a spouse or a girlfriend or someone that you're really close to can see that and oftentimes feel threatened by it. Because you come home now after being attractive, and it's hard. You're going to come home and now you just want to sit around and be slovenly and I don't have to work that hard at this. But you get paid good money for 6 hours to stand in front of an audience and say, You know, don't you want to be with me? Don't you want to follow me? Don't you want to be laughing with me? You come home and it's like, ugh.
So let's talk about this in different progressions. We're going to start with balancing your business, okay, your hours that you typically work. Then let's talk about spouses and significant others, and then let's talk about the children, the kids. We all have kids. And I think all of those, again, are three very important aspects to keep a good balance on. So let's start with the business. You know, we have sales consultations with brides and people who can't meet until after 6 o'clock at night. So talk about that. How do you manage that, Mitch?
So balancing the business for me is always, it's a delicate balancing act. And I think it's a case where, okay, yes, our office hours, we take appointments with clients from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, weekends by appointment. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm in the office from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. If I have a night where I've got nothing scheduled, then yeah, I'm going home with my kids. If I need to have dinner with the kids and hang out and make dinner with the family and watch a couple of TV shows with Kendall or Hunter, yes. And then, or I'll take an hour at that point and then go make phone calls in the office.
You still struggle with this.
I think we all do.
I think we all do.
Well, no, I'm talking about you at this point. I mean, because let's say everybody's watching this and taking.
Do I need to lie down?
No, it's okay. They're all taking this, you know, because they're seeing what we're dealing with.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
absolutely.
Where is your struggle, and does it still continue, or is it a management of the struggle? What is, or do you think you have a handle on it?
I think I have a decent handle on it, but I think it still is a struggle to make sure that you. Kind of what you alluded to earlier, Bill, in that you are this performer in front of a stage of people, and likability is huge, and your attraction of the audience to you. But then you go home and you want to be just relax. The same kind of dedication and care that you have to your clients, you have to give to your children and your spouse.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very different.
Same, but you have to give them something.
Yes. Well, I would argue it's the same. You need to give them the same level of attention and the same level of care and the same, or more so for that matter.
Well, that's what I'm
These
saying.
are the people that have given up their life for you.
No, giving up their life.
No. This is your wife, Maureen.
Oh, that's right.
She committed herself to you. She was on drugs.
And that's the way I keep her. That's the way I keep her. Without it, she leaves me.
I think what Mitch is saying is when we meet with a couple, we're dedicated them for one night and then we're done. And obviously we can't do that with our wives.
One night, but still.
Well, it's a different dedication. I mean, we are dedicated to our life with our spouses, with our families, our life. We work so that we can have our life.
Exactly.
Okay, so, I mean, for us to say that we have, you know, the love and care I have for my client is the same thing, it's just not.
True.
It is.
I'll give you that.
It's like the love and care I give to my friend Mitch, or to my friend Jer, or to any of my family. There's still love and care there.
Yes.
But a family is a different commitment.
Agreed.
And it's a different choice that you're making. Because at any given moment, if I have to choose between going to have that meeting or going to see my kids, I have to choose, I'm going to see my kids.
Yes.
I'll give up my life, my business, I'll give up all the money or any of the fame that I may have created in my life for them for any reason. They don't have to call me and say, I need you home, and this is why. No, I need you home. They win, number one.
Yeah, agreed.
And when it comes down to what that schedule and the struggle around it, the peace comes in knowing for a fact that that's the commitment. That's the number one. You get that list, that number one. What comes first?
Yes.
For me, it's family. For you, I know it's family. For you, I know it's
Yes.
family.
So talking about the balance in business,
Yes.
One of the things that I've done was I always make sure that I'm home when my kids get off the bus.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the important things that we have to do is we have to schedule those things saying, this is me, this is my moment, this is my family time. So you can still have meetings maybe when the wife gets home or the significant other gets home. But again, make sure that you cushion or you make that time. Schedule it in your calendar if you have to. That's one thing that I've really had to do. And I know that's really helped me out a lot. The other thing is, and I know, Bill, you being completely single op, Mitch, you being a multi-op, I needed to hire somebody.
Yes.
I realized there was a point where if I really wanted to spend time with my family, I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So I had to hire a salesperson, and I mean, he does so much more than that. But it allows him to take those evenings that I can't dedicate myself to, and it's been really helpful, at home and also in our business. He's done great things for us, and sometimes people have to maybe bring on a part-time person, or if you have another DJ who works for you, maybe talk to them and train them into sales. Mitch, you have a great sales workshop that my guy's taken.
Yes.
And I mean, you have those
Someday
tools.
he'll start selling things.
Someday, Lord willing.
But again, I mean, those tools are out there, so maybe train people to take care of some of that workload that takes away from that family time.
But I think a lot of people, though, they hear us talk about it, because I talked about this too, and usually what it comes down to when they finally start thinking about seriously doing it, it's like, well, great, I can tell you what I think you should do all day, but what is it you want? I mean, do you want that time? If you want that time, then it's as easy as I want it, so I schedule it.
I take it.
Yeah.
I take it. I will give one thing up for another. So, or many of the brothers and sisters who get into what they do here, and then they get bigger, they start to let whatever's happening dictate exactly what has to happen for them. So now they're being dictated by, this is happening to me, so this is why I'm not home. This is why I'm always at my client's house. That's all happening. So if you let that happen, that's why you're having a problem.
That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You control your own schedule.
But
You
people
can
don't
set
see
your
that.
own schedule.
You
can choose to be home or choose to be with the family.
Right, and that's a
it's
tough
your
thing.
choice.
It's a tough thing for an entrepreneur, especially one that's struggling or one trying to create something bigger than themselves.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, yeah, but I could go home, but I mean, I'm going to lose out on that. Okay, I get it. Well, you're just starting out. You're just building. It took, I'm many longer years doing this than I am married. Okay, I'm really, really old. I just really
We need a break.
But it's that decision. It became about a decision. It's like I no longer want to be. My life can't be dictated by my circumstances anymore, and it can be, or you can choose. You can choose to dictate your circumstances. I want this, so I'm going to have it. Okay, so you have it. What are you missing out on? Okay, well maybe I don't get that gig. Well, okay, is that good enough for you?
And give yourself time. Take that time out to figure it out, to lay out a schedule, to map out a schedule that works for you. Talk with your spouse, talk with your kids. There's going to be seasonality in regards to what we do too, because the kids will do sports, they'll do activities after school, whatever it might be. Another big thing for me and my wife, we love to travel. I love to travel. I grew up on cruise ships. Name an island in the Caribbean, I've been there at least once. So the reality for us is that we decide we're taking a vacation for just her and I to reconnect at least once a year, just period, and probably a long weekend somewhere too. Because for both of us, our schedules are so chaotic that frankly, if we didn't do that, it would be a struggle.
Relationship would be tough, yeah.
What is it that you want?
Major struggle.
You chose what you wanted, and give yourself a break when you're doing this stuff too. And especially the younger entrepreneurs that get into it, and then the first thing they start worrying about is their family's going to do this, and my kids, I'm not going to have time with my kids. Look, my dad gave me some great advice early on when I first started having kids. Is, this is the time when you can work hard. You can. It's when they're really little.
Yes.
Believe it or not, you can work really hard. They don't know. They're going to be able to forgive. You need to make the money because you're going to need money later. Give yourself a break. I mean, and as long as you're communicating with your family, as long as they get that your commitment is with them, and that what you're doing is about who they are and what they want, great. But it's when you stop communicating. It's when they start. Your wife worries about you out there at a bar with girls around you because you haven't been talking to her. Okay, you haven't. And you come home excited about what happened and all the women and the things that were happening at work, because that's what we do. We get
shouldn't
excited
talk
about
about those.
Well, no, it's not a problem with doing
That's
it.
our
It is a
office.
problem if you're not talking to your spouse about it.
Yes.
If you don't get just as excited about going to Costco, which is really hard to do, if you're out there making great events, but you got to be excited about being with those people.
Yes.
And trust me, if you're not excited about being with those people, if you aren't excited about being with your family, then you probably shouldn't be married anyway, honestly. So it's choices. It's committed choices to what you really want. And a lot of people don't make those choices. They just let it happen. They think love's going to happen and time's going to happen. And yeah, you can if you don't got a job.
And disclaimer, we're not telling you to go get divorced.
No, well, I might be.
What we're
I mean, I have to take some really committed time and vacation time for just me and Mitch's wife too, because if we don't, our commitment will fall apart.
So let's talk about spouses.
Bill's wife makes me salmon every day.
Every day.
I think again
I'm married.
the people that we're in relationships with, like I said, Mitch, you fell into someone who understood what you were getting into, or what you do.
She knew what she was getting into before she married me.
Again, I wasn't that fortunate, you know, and
my wife is a saint. I have to say that. She is
my wife is very understanding. In every presentation that I do, you will.
Oh my gosh, you are going to be in so much trouble. My wife just saying, my wife, not so much. Really, she's okay. I mean, not like
Sarah,
Mitch's
I
wife.
love you.
Mitch's wife's awesome. But
Sarah,
my wife, that's okay.
I actually have Jeremy's
What I was saying,
really.
every presentation I do,
awesome.
I always open with, I have a very understanding wife. And the reason I say that, and I know Mitch goes through the same thing. I travel a lot. I'm at DJ Expo. I'm at Mobile Beat. I'm all these different shows, LDI, Winning MBA, and you know it's hard to be away, especially with my kids being the age they are. It puts a lot of weight on my wife's shoulders.
Yeah. Mine too.
And it's not just being away and having that separation as a person, but it's giving her that much more work of getting the kids into school and getting all those details.
Rides,
and that's where I kind of want to go next. So
it's really it's becoming clear that you're just a horrible husband and father.
I am a horrible husband and father.
Your turn to lay down.
And I mean, I truly, there are times where I almost, I admit that to my wife. I will let her know that it's a hard struggle to maintain a business, something that I really enjoy doing, and that's why I felt that this conversation was so important to us and important to this industry, because make sure that your significant other understands the work that goes into what you do, and make sure that she understands that you have to work your weekends, because that's when they pay the money. They don't pay for a Wednesday wedding as much as they will for a Saturday wedding.
Well, let's make that a little larger though. Make sure your wife gets what you do, sure, but you got to make sure that you get what your wife does. You got to understand what your spouse, what your significant other deals with every day, regardless of how much we might think it might. Like, well, really, come on.
No, it's
how tough could it be? Really? I mean, you know how hard I'm working, and so now you're making it about you don't really see. And I had to learn that the hard way. I think every husband has to learn the hard way that your spouse is living in your life as well. Regardless of how guys and girls don't think alike, big duh. So we see a wife, and I'm speaking from a man's perspective here, but we see a wife going through a problem that we think, oh, come on, give me a break. Really?
Yeah.
That's really easy. Well, but that's a problem with our perspective. Okay, any problem that your spouse is going through is a real problem, and is as big and real as anything else for anybody else. And if you can't see that, because you just need to understand, honey, that's first of all, that doesn't work.
No.
Okay, I learned that the hard way. Every good husband who's been married more than 10 years learns that one the hard way.
There's a great book called The 5 Love Languages. If you haven't read it,
keep going.
I would encourage you to pick that up. Not that one.
No, that's the Kama Sutra book.
That's a really good book.
It's a whole different book.
So that's a good one, though.
I would encourage any couples to pick it up, because you can
edit that, right,
different
John?
languages as a couple.
Yeah. Well, just as
men and women speak different languages.
I understand men are from Mars.
But it's important for you to, as Bill said, understand where she's coming from and speak her language when you get home.
Especially if you expect her to understand what you're going through.
If her language is, if you show love and her language is receiving love through you doing some of those household chores and helping out with the kids or whatever it might be, because she's had a crazy day, then you need to do that for her.
Or just listening.
Or just listening, yes.
But they should teach that to 10-year-old boys. Shut up and listen to your wife. I can't tell you, man. Really. They should have taught me that a long time ago. I mean, tell me there's a guy that doesn't understand that, hey, if I hear my wife has a problem, tell me, you get all done, honey, because I've been thinking about how I'm going to fix that for you. Because we know, hey, we can fix any problem. You can, I can. I know what's wrong. I will fix it. She doesn't care. She just doesn't. Okay, and that's a girl thing. Girls want to be heard. And when they want you to fix it, they'll tell you.
Going back to the
that's not what you were talking about.
Job of husband and wife, and the balance of day in and day out duties, and you're away, we're speaking at different conferences, whatever the case may be, and she's at home, she's keeping the home fires burning. Mm-hmm. Tip of the hat to Mr. Millsap, I think. And the reality there is that, what is the end goal? Just like
what do you want?
We talk about with your income is determined by your client's outcome in sales and solutions. What is your outcome for you as a couple? Like, what's your retirement like? What's your end goal? Where do you want to be? You both have to have that end goal in mind and realize that you're both working, albeit sometimes on different ends of the spectrum in different locations, but you still are both working congruently together to get to that end goal, whatever it might be. You decide together what your end goal. No, it's not just money.
Oh God!
It's not just money.
Money has much less to do with it.
Much less.
One of the things, kind of like when you said, Mitch, she's at home. I'm talking to Mitch. When you talked about, she's back at home and you're out and you're doing your thing, social media. There's so much. There's so much that can be twisted in social media. When you're going to
Are you speaking from experience?
Yes, I am speaking from experience, and that's.
I've been to Vegas with you, and the first time I took a picture, he's like, "Oh, don't do me a favor, don't."
Okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've had this conversation, and I want people to be aware, not just as entertainers, but also as spouses.
Keep your phone.
Bill, seriously. The thing that your wives see on social media, they'll see you, at the after parties, and they'll see you at dinners and all this, and they're back at home, changing diapers and that kind of thing, and that really makes it tough going back and, oh, how's the conference? Oh, it was good. Oh, yeah, I saw how much you partied. It's like, well, those are the moments where you're networking, you're shaking hands, you're meeting new friends. And, from a spouse, I don't know how you really help the spouse understand that this is what I need to do to connect with people in the industry, to create those relationships.
Regardless of whether you're partying or not, that's what you tell her. It's networking, honey.
No, seriously though, it is part of understanding who you are at the core,
right.
Part of what your job responsibilities are.
Right.
And again, does it all align with that end goal?
Right.
If you're out just partying and going to clubs or whatever, just to bang down drinks and cheat on people, then that's not the case.
I'm glad you put drinks after that. So the next thing I want to go into is I want to talk about the children. And I mean, we all have kids. The children.
Let's do it for the children.
I think we have to look at how much weight that puts on their shoulders as well. And I know that when I get home, I mean, I go downstairs and, my kids are sleeping. I'll wake up my daughter and it's like she woke up for Christmas. And that just tears me apart.
Why?
No, I get it.
When my daughter is just so excited to see me. I mean, talk about a moment that, you're overwhelmed with. And you realize at that moment, gosh, being gone for 2 days or 3 days, it really makes an effect on them.
It does, but here's the positive and negative.
Yeah.
Your kids are older.
Yes, the negative of social media is the reality of our wives or whoever seeing all these things, and then they're interpreting who we're with or we're, whatever, which is not always the case. But then you can take a device like this, and I can be there FaceTiming my daughter from Adrian Kaplan's car as he's picking me up to go to a speaking engagement at his property.
Hi, Adrian.
And I can chat with my daughter and say goodnight to her and talk about her school and her grades and homework she had today. And at least I can have that one-on-one. It's not the same as being there, but it's the next best thing.
Well,
and think about 20 years ago, we didn't have that option.
Yeah, and I think, Mitch, that out of this whole conversation,
what's the positive and negative of it?
This whole conversation, I think that's what really brings it home, and I think it's really staying connected when you're gone, or maybe you're heading home after the job. Just send her a text or send her a text. There's times where I'll be doing an anniversary dance and I'll see some of these couples out on the dance floor, and I'll send my wife a text that just says, "I love you." Just staying connected with them. And Mitch, I love the fact that you said, tucking your kids in through the phone.
Yeah, I called my kids this morning before they got on the bus to go to school.
So I mean, really, it really comes down to just staying connected. Even if you're gone for 2-3 days, with all of the technology we have, you can still be there. And I think that's a very valid point, a very great point to.
Well, and again, give yourself a break. I mean, yes, you want to do that because you want to do that. And so you're going to find a way, whether you have a phone to be able to use social media or whatever it is, or you write notes and leave it for them.
Yes.
Your daughter, it's Christmas every time. How old is she again?
8.
Okay, she's 8. It's Christmas for her every time when she sees you. That means you're not having any damage. You're not damaging your kid. Okay, kids are resilient, first of all. And the people that are damaging their kids are doing the kind of stuff that you're worried about maliciously. I'm staying away because I don't like my kids.
Yeah.
When they do get around me and they let it by Christmas, it's like, oh, give me a break, kid. Can't you see I'm tired? That's the damage. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not, and you can worry about it all day. But they're very, very resilient, and the older they get is where I start to worry. But even then, the advice from my father is, it's intention, man. It really is. And as long as you can help communicate that intention to your children around what's important, and that they do come first, regardless of what you do. And yes, sometimes dad has to make choices and travel, or dad has to work and he travels. But first of all, your kids have been around since you've been doing this kind of job.
Yeah.
They don't have a father who's an accountant where we go out on the weekends and we go camping. They don't. They've got one that will go camping maybe. I'm not a big camper, and that's not a big deal either, but even if I do, it's like Sunday and Monday, and it's just their life, okay? As long as you can make their life today be okay. It's what they see as their parents. Is what their parents really are. It's not we get into this swirl of the comparison of what we do and how we do it and how weird our schedules are to the rest of the world. And that's not what they see. They see their life. Mm-hmm. And their life is you and your schedule as a performer, as a speaker, as an entertainer, and yours as a businessman who owns a lot of equipment and deals with a lot of employees like their children themselves and schedules as well. But I mean, that's their life. That's what they see as real.
Yeah.
And as my friend Jason Jones, who's an amazing coach in his life itself, he says something on a regular basis that I have to be reminded of, whereas comparison is the death of happiness. Okay? You want to be unhappy with the way your life is and the way you're dealing with your family and your children. If you're maliciously doing things, you are. Okay? Yeah. But if you're comparing what you're getting out of family life with somebody else's, you're going to find a reason why it sucks.
Right.
Comparison really is the death of happiness. So you need to look at what you have in the vacuum you have it, and if you want to create outside of that, you choose to do it.
The Disc Jockey News Virtual Expo is sponsored by DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool. Top Hits USA, hit music service for radio and professional DJs. Epsilon Professional Lighting and Sound, an experienced and innovative manufacturer of lighting and sound equipment. Promo Only, the industry's #1 source for music and music videos. By Omez Professional Lighting. New color, new vision, new Omez. By Prime Cuts, the #1 service for music for mobile DJs. Sponsored by Chalvet DJ. Value, innovation, performance. Sponsored by Projectogram. High-quality designs for monograms, logos, and other image projections. ADJ, pure lighting excitement.
I think it's important for you, just like you do for your clients, to do the same or more so for your spouse, for your kids, but to make the time and create the moments.
One of the things that you mentioned, Mitch, was having that end goal, figuring out your retirement or whatever it is, whatever you're working for.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've done was I figured out, okay, how many weddings do I have to be gone for how many weekends do I have to be gone for to be able to stabilize my goal or, you know, my family and take care of them. And what that's allowed me to do is say, okay, great, I can have these 3 weekends off in June. I can go camping. I can go, I mean, we came out to all the way to Michigan for the 4th of July.
That, really?
I have no idea.
Who would go and see? Why did we go?
We had a great piano bar player.
Oh, my Lord.
Yes, it was great. But again, if you don't take those moments, you don't take that time off, you're never going to have time off. You're always going to keep your wheels spinning.
Yeah. Time to recharge your batteries is crucial. And I travel a ton just like you do and Bill does. That's work travel. I'm talking about pleasure travel, where you can actually unplug and unwind. These, as much as they're a great convenience, they're also can be the death of families.
Yep.
And I'm just as guilty as anybody. It's something you challenged me on, and I thank you for challenging me on it, is to unplug as much as you can when you're home with the kids and not have that thing on 24/7.
Right.
It's still a challenge as a business owner, as an entrepreneur.
There are a lot of tips that we've talked about, and we could go on and on about tips, but we all know what to do. What it comes down to first is what is necessary. What
necessary to turn your phone off when we're doing a recording. That's what's necessary.
Well, what do you
Bill
want?
can't stay disconnected.
Why is what it is. Once you know what you want and why you want it, then you need tips from us? No, you know what to do.
Right.
Because you have a purpose behind it.
Because you have a plan.
I want family. I want more family time, and this is why I want it. So, hey, there's a million ways to do it.
Yeah, you really control. You control your own life. You control your own schedule. And if your family is your biggest priority, then focus your business around your family.
Right. Sit down with your spouse, create a plan, walk through it together, determine your proper end goal, and then do whatever you can to make those moments unique throughout the night. And surprise. Holy crap, I didn't say it. Surprise. My wife's going to kill me for saying this. We had my son's birthday party just this past week. And, 13-year-old boys, okay, I've got 8 or 9 of them at the house. And I think it's so important to keep surprise in a relationship. So the boys are going around and they're pantsing their friends, okay? So
they didn't do this to your wife, did they?
No.
Oh.
No. But the next morning, when all the kids are gone and my son is over in the kitchen getting a bowl of whatever for Cheerios for breakfast, I reached up behind my wife and I pantsed her.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is a great way to end.
A reason to end the show right
Talk
there.
about surprise.
Talk about
spontaneity.
So we're going to put his wife's number up on the screen so you can call her up and say, I'm so sorry.
But if you keep spontaneity in your marriage, you keep spontaneity in your life, that helps keep things fun and interesting and not the same doldrums that we fall into as a married couple sometimes.
Yep.
Sure. So you don't need us. Why did we do this in the first place?
I don't know. John told us to.
All right.
Next.
No, I think, again, this is a...
Actually, I thought that was a pretty good ending, but keep going.
I think this is a great topic. I think this is a great topic that a lot of us think about and we struggle with. And again, I truly appreciate your guys' perspective on things and you surprising your wife.
Yeah.
But this is the Disc Jockey News Virtual Expo, and thanks for watching us, and we'll see you in the next episode.